Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy Ragazi, and this is Ragazi Acts. And today I'm going to be talking about the Southern Poverty Law Center. Of course, I've been talking about this for years, over 10 years, and I'm going to show y'all the clips to just to show y'all that I've been talking about this for over 10 years. And it's trending online right now. Everybody talking about it, and I think we should stay connected and keep pushing this because this is what got the black community in a mental bind, right? So I'm going to do a reaction to it. It's going to be the Amala react to the Southern Poverty Law Center. I think she explained it pretty good, and she was kind of like moderate with it. So, and then I could give you my, I guess, radical takes. You know what I'm saying? But in the meantime,
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
yeah, you can follow me on Rumble on the EOI with Rumble, Ragazi Reacts, Ragazi Era. I'm on Rumble also. You can follow me there. But let's get to this. I want to share some screens with you, and where is this again? Okay, this I'm gonna pull up a video in a minute. Just give me 1 sec. First, I'm gonna start off by showing you guys that I was talking about it. I just posted way before Cash Patel came out and was talking about it. I just posted about it. It's quick clips, quick clips. As you can see, all of them, me wearing a gray hat. This was like over 10 years ago. I just reposted everything, and then I see Cash Patel came out and said what he had to say about it. But let's see.
You could show them pictures of Hillary Clinton on stage honoring and praising a KKK member, a huge KKK member. His name is Robert C. Byrd, and he's known as a KKK member, Democrat. Guy on top, he's a recruiter. Democrats, he recruit racist people to be a part of Democratic Party, and he recruit racist people to go out there and do what the KKK do. Hillary Clinton said that's her mentor. You don't want to say Trump is the racist because some KKK members that the Democrats and Republicans, because they are part of that shit too. So a lot of the Republicans are some
Yes,
fucking KKK members too. Just as much, but not as much as the fucking Democrats. Okay.
Because they was quiet about it for a long time, so a lot of Republicans was in cahoots with it. I'm not 100% sure if they was like actual KKK members, but I do know they was absolutely gatekeeping for them. So if you're gonna do that, it must have been kickbacks involved. That's what I'm trying to say. But back then, I was still kind of leftist and waking up and talking about everything I was learning from the right. Where's my volume? I put,
Myself, I know exactly what's going on in these dudes' brains right
okay,
now.
there
This
you
man
go.
got thousands of people running, working in his campaign. Not thousands of people in his campaign, but thousands of people in his empire, in his businesses. Thousands of black people, thousands of Latino people, thousands of different types of people. Okay, running his campaign, his $1 billion industry. You understand? And he's a racist. Now, if you want to call him a racist because he hired a bunch of black people and Spanish people, you want to call him a racist because of that, then you can say McDonald's is a racist too because they got, trust me, they're overpopulated with Latinos and blacks right now. And people who just came in and just got their papers. You know what I'm saying? So they could be, Mr. McDonald's could be a racist too. I mean, every job out here should be racist. This man got thousands of people running. They don't.
I was
They
talking
don't know
about
what to do.
Trump
They don't know how to vote.
empire.
I used to be a Democrat myself. I know exactly what's going on in these dudes' brains right now. They don't know nothing. I mean, that's just my opinion. But I know a lot of Democrats that do know some stuff, but they're still twisted by the party. They try to go along with the party rules. You know what I'm saying? And that's screwed up. It's all screwed up. They don't.
And I just want to show you that a lot of people are talking about it, that is actually trending.
Shit, it ain't so. So you telling me the black people who were supposed to be protecting us from KKK, the neo-Nazis, white supremacy was actually funding them. They was actually funding them to do all of these things, to burn shit and agitate and create this atmosphere. Black people was paying them. Look at this.
Southern Poverty Law Center themselves advertise to raise money to dismantle violent extremist groups.
Since 1971, the Southern Poverty Law Center has been fighting hate and defending justice and equality in the U.S.
The SPLC, the Southern Poverty Law Center, used the money they raised from their...
As you can see, Southern Poverty Law Center is it's like extremely fake, man. It's extremely fake, and I was talking about it in my last video. Right here.
These are the people that co-authored the bill. Mia Bonta, the bill author, and the co-authors, and they talking to a co-author right here, right now. One of the co-authors, Susan Rubio, Spanish woman, right? Because they always use minorities to do fraud. They use minorities to do fraud because when conservatives come after them and try to stop the fraud, first thing they could call is racism. And their argument ain't, oh, we ain't committing fraud, here's the proof. That's not their argument. Their argument is, you're racist. So this is why a bunch of white leftist liberals that's running the show, they behind the scenes running all of this. White people, white leftist people, behind the scenes, running this. And they push all of these Hispanics and non-whites in the forefront to commit the fraud. And then they go in there and they steal billions of dollars. And then when conservatives and Republicans and independents step in and say, hey, that's fraud, you can't do that. First thing they call is, oh, you can't do that because I'm a minority and they got something against minorities and immigrants and they hate people and they hate races. They hate, they're racist and they're bigotry. And that's their whole argument. Their whole argument ain't proving that we're wrong. They never prove that we're wrong. They just go out and say racism, 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 because they know that's a key word that the black community and all of. But these are the people that co-author the bill. Mia Bonta, the bill author and the co-authors, and they talking to a co-author, right?
As you can see, a lot of people is talking about this, and I think this is a topic we need to push real hard for the black communities. Can see that we've been right about everything. We've been telling the truth about everything. So I go to my
this. You can't make this shit up. This is going to be the one that turned blacks away from Democrats. House Democrats are calling for reparations for immigrants who
the CIA literally.
Black women.
You're wrong.
This is my
Turns out
that was never.
What's going to happen is,
hey guys, I got to share something funny with you.
I hate being like.
So I'm the villain because I'm black and walked away from the Democratic Party, but when the DOJ exposes money laundering from the left paying millions of dollars to the KKK, it's crickets. You people have nothing to say now. The Southern Poverty Law Center has been charged with wire fraud after funneling over $3 million of donor funds to racist groups like the KKK and the American Nazi Party. Most of the racism you hear about is a false flag. Pretending that racism is a current systemic issue is profitable and easy to exploit for political leverage. The same party that started those hate groups is the same party that's keeping those hate groups' legacies alive. So think about that at the midterms rather than just the mean tweets.
this be what the SPLC was doing? It's not far-fetched from the Democrat playbook, the paid protests and all of that shit. It sounds just about right. Remember these was popping up all around the times when the election time with Trump, and they was putting it on Trump, saying that Trump was giving the racist people the courage to pop out. Was this a Democrat play? Was the Democrat paying these people to come out and do this shit intentionally? Look, remember this?
Community wanted the police to respond to them and tell them that they shouldn't be doing what they were doing. And when the police did not respond, the community rushed them and chased them away.
The f*** out of here! The f*** out of here!
Even in the village of Lincoln Heights.
If you have a hard time finding extremism and you're kind of evil, you can just manufacture it. Southern Poverty Law Center, whose activism, or on paper their job, is to find and demolish violent extremism and hate groups in the US, was just indicted by the FBI for allegedly funding those very groups. To draw the picture, based on the indictment, the SPLC took donations, which they received mostly from left-wing individuals, foundations, and organizations, and they used it through proxies to fund extremist groups like neo-Nazis and KKK so that those groups could organize more and be more active. Then the SPLC would tell their donors...
So let me get this straight. The left was funding white supremacist groups to keep them alive and basically manufactured the racism they claimed to be against. So the Democrats were literally keeping the KKK they originally created alive. They built a massive industry by convincing people the country was crawling with dangerous white supremacists, all while paying these same supremacists through shell accounts to make sure the threat never went away. They were the KKK's secret sugar daddy, using liberal donor money, some from Soros, by the way, to subsidize the very racists they put on their famous hate map and used it to get more money. An organization that claims to fight racism was manufacturing it instead, paying informants tied to the KKK and Aryan nations hundreds of...
Absolutely insane, guys. And it's blowing up online. I mean, a lot of people are starting to talk about it. A lot of people starting to talk about it and put out the information. You know, I think this is liberating for me because I've been talking about this for over 10 years. That the Democrats are funding these groups to go out there and do these things. And not only that, they have groups online that's constantly making AI generated videos, fake accounts, and they go around trolling people. And in the black communities, they go in the black communities and they start trolling black people saying racist stuff. And then when you look at their page, it always got some fake Trump supporter type page. And then they go around doing that to thousands of black people on a daily basis. So a lot of these black people really think Trump supporters is racist because they troll. I mean, I know because they tried to do it to me. They tried to hit me up and be in my inbox calling me the N-word and saying, oh, we gonna lynch you, N-word. And, you know, this is their strategy. It's all social engineering. I'm not stupid. I brought it up that he got a troll page. It's not real. The page was just created not too long ago. You know, and I told him, stop DMing, dude. It won't work with me. You know, he literally stopped. He just stopped. And then you seen the page went into an error where I guess he deactivated the page. And then they'll just make another one and keep going until they find emotional black people that's going to get on there and argue with them. And he's going to be acting like he's a Trump supporter. And they constantly do this over and over and over again. The Democrats are the demons of the country. Now, I want to do a react to Amala. So I'm going to go ahead and...
Poverty Law Center. Guys, this story is insane. The FBI is alleging that a huge left-leaning organization has been funneling money to white supremacist groups like the KKK to stage hate crimes and hate events, and then they're running their organization claiming to be fighting those white supremacist groups. And guess what the tea is? I've been in meetings with this particular organization, so let's talk about it. Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better. Guys, before we get into today's video, please like and subscribe. Today we're talking about Southern Poverty Law Center, okay? For those of you who are unfamiliar with the Southern Poverty Law Center, they are a 501c3 organization. And what that means is they're essentially tax exempt for the work that they do. And we're going to head over to Wikipedia to get like a foundational view of what this nonprofit does. So they're based in civil rights and public interest litigation. And what their real claim to fame is fighting legal cases against white supremacist groups. And they classify hate groups and hate events. So if you go to the Southern Poverty Law Center website, let's say, they will have this whole hate watch, hate map thing that they create, which is essentially a map of the United States. And there's all these little pinpoints all over it for different white supremacist groups that are congregating in different areas. They'll classify things like the KKK or the Proud Boys when different hate events or hate crimes take place. Guess what you'll get? A little pinpoint on their map, and they'll detail and track, allegedly, everything that's going on with these groups. And you go to their about pages, it says a history of protecting society's most vulnerable. Okay, which is really interesting now because we're going to get into this indictment from the FBI where they essentially say Southern Poverty Law Center has actually been funneling money to white supremacist groups, the very groups that they're claiming to track and fight with their hate watching.
What we're here today is to announce what the general just told you. The Southern Poverty Law Center, in a massive sweeping indictment, has been charged with allegations of fraud and using the banking system to perpetrate that fraud. I just want to talk about a couple of brief things here. The Southern Poverty Law Center themselves advertise to raise money to dismantle violent extremist groups for a period of at least a decade. They use their donor network to raise money to purportedly dismantle violent extremist groups. However, the SPLC, the Southern Poverty Law Center, used the money they raised from their donor network to actually pay the leadership of these very groups. I just want to say that again.
Oh,
they used the fraudulently raised money by lying to their donor network, thousands of Americans, to go ahead and actually pay the leadership of these supposed violent extremists.
Yeah, I think that does need to be said. Again, they use their donor money to pay the leaders of these alleged hate groups and white supremacist groups.
You what?
And you guys know I was a former leftist. You see my little black power fist I got tattooed on when I was, 16, 17, whatever. I was in these spaces, of course. I was working as a student organizer fresh out of high school. And the organization that I would work for would have meetings with none other than the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Whoa, wait a minute, bro. Bro, did she not fit in? Bro, she looked like the average left. But when she talked, you'll know that she's smart enough and she's going to mentally get out of that herself. And that's exactly what happened. And you could tell once you go conservative, no offense, Kamala, but you got a real glow up. A real glow up, if you know what I mean. Conservatives just look better. Look at her now. Just look way better, right? I don't want to gloat and talk about this, but, but that's just what conservatism do. That's just what it is.
Law Center. And on these meetings, they would have organizers and people who worked for SPLC come on and display these PowerPoints of their alleged hate group maps where they tracked all the different white supremacy events that were taking place, all the different groups that were congregating. Now, I lived in the state of Florida at the time. So the state of Florida was apparently rife with white supremacy groups and all these individuals that were congregating because they hated black people or Jewish people or, whatever the case may be. The list was lengthy and long, and all the different hate events that were taking place and the hate crimes that were taking place was also lengthy, long. Now, come to find out, they were allegedly funneling money to many of these groups, which of course creates this nice little cycle where a ton of white supremacists keep popping up and Southern Poverty Law Center gets to do their little hate watch and track these events and attempt to dismantle these groups. In past videos where I've said the demand for racism is so much larger than the supply, this is exactly what I mean. This is an organization that is fueled by the idea that there is white supremacy all throughout this nation, all throughout the United States. And in order to keep running that organization, you need the racism, you need the bigotry, and when they didn't have it, they were allegedly using donor money Just money given by well-meaning people who were trying to fight these causes. They were using that money to actually fund white supremacists and hate groups. Demand meets supply. Let's keep watching.
Groups. The groups, as the general laid out, include the Ku Klux Klan, the United Klans of America, Unite to Right, National Alliance, the National Socialist Movement, the Aryan Nation Motorcycle Club, and the National Socialist Party of America, and also the American Front. In at least one of these matters, our investigation revealed that funds were used to facilitate the commission of further state and federal offenses, totaling over $3 million. Furthermore, our investigation revealed that the Southern Poverty Law Center, on top of perpetuating this widespread, decade-long, multi-million-dollar fraud, conducted more criminal activity. They attempted to hide their criminal activity from our financial banking network. They set up shell companies and entities around America so that the financial institutions that we rely on as everyday Americans were deceived in believing that money was not coming from the Southern Poverty Law Center in the perpetration of this scheme and fraud, but rather fictitious entities they stood up to perpetuate this ongoing fraud. This is a serious and egregious violation of a group that purported to dismantle violent extremist groups, but in turn actually only fueled the hatred.
Which is so insane to me because as a leftist organizer at the time, I fell hook, line, and sinker for everything Southern Poverty Law Center had to say. Oh my gosh. Oh, that is mortifying, but it's also terrifying that there is an organization that is willing to do this. When you think about like the hate crime hoaxes or the people who make this shit up because it becomes a huge story or they can paint themselves as the victim, oftentimes we don't think about it going this far. But now just listen to what you just heard from Kash Patel, and people have sort of laid out a lot of where this money has gone, and he mentioned it briefly in the video there. The National Alliance affiliate, which these are extremist groups that this money has been funneled to, paid $1 million plus. The Aryan Nations affiliate, $300K plus. Unite the Right members, $270K plus. Former National Alliance chairman, $140K plus. Former KKK members, $73K plus. The American Front president and felon, $19K plus. Okay. So these people who are claiming to be fighting these things are literally sending hundreds of thousands up to millions of dollars to these extremist groups, to these ideas, and to what we later get labeled as hate events and hate crimes, which means that really the Southern Poverty Law Center, if what is alleged is true, is one of the largest funders probably in this country of American hates or like extremist groups. Just really think about that. Oh my gosh.
This is an important case brought by President Trump's administration. We're thankful to the president for his leadership and funding of not just the FBI and DOJ, but his commitment to go out there and wipe out fraud and conspiracy and waste and abuse wherever it occurs, including the Southern Poverty Law Center. Even though this money was made to appear to be coming from legitimate people and legitimate entities, we at the FBI, with our great partners at the Department of Justice and in the state of Alabama, were able to comb through a decade worth of material, a scheme that took a decade to build, so that we were able to follow the money, because money never lies, and they got caught. As the Attorney General said, these charges are varying, they are widespread and wide-ranging, and this investigation is very much ongoing. Today we're here to announce the charges of the Southern Poverty Law Center, and this investigation and the individuals who are responsible will be brought to justice.
And I am so...
So as you can see, well, I mean, you can see Kash Patel is literally trying to keep his job. But we still want to see the indictments. We want to see the arrests. We want to see, and we want to see it on a massive scale. We don't want to see one person that was leading it, and 9 times out of 10 is going to be a minority person. We want to see that white liberal behind them also get arrested. The people that's funding this knowingly, I mean, a lot of the elites that's funding it, they're going to get they could opt out and say, I didn't know, right? Which is a lie, but they could say, I didn't know that's what they're doing with it because they were selling it to them like, oh, it's to stop racism or whatever. And then they give them the money, right? So they'll be able to opt their way out illegally, you know, but those minority leaders of the Southern Poverty Law Center, they may get indicted and arrested very soon. But it ain't just them. There's more groups like that out there. Most of them is they using a image, a disguise of a minority institution. I told you, like I said in my last video, they use minorities and racism and all that stuff as a shield to protect them from us. And then they use the shield to call us conservatives and Republicans racist, try to destroy our image instead. So they never address the problems that we're trying to get out of them and the questions we're trying to ask them. You know, they just racism, and they keep moving. That's all they're doing. You know, which shows you that they are illegitimate and they're trying to avoid responsibility. They're trying to avoid accountability. You know, so I'm gonna go ahead and end the video there. Thank you guys for watching. You can go follow me on Rumble, and you can follow me here. And I have a Ragazi Era. You know, that's my older page, but this is my new page because my older page is demonetized. I got to start over. If you want to support, I'll drop the links down below. You can go ahead and support me there. But the biggest support will be the press the like button, subscribe button, and share button. And those three right there can help me catapult this channel, and I'll be able to be out there doing bigger things. All right. Thank you guys for watching.